Hello and welcome to An Epic World, an interview series by Quadrian that highlights innovators, thought leaders, and trailblazers driving transformational innovation in industries and economies worldwide. I'm Courtney Fingar, your host and a senior advisor at Quadrian. Quadrian is focused on inspiring epic growth by leveraging the combined forces of venture investment, foreign direct investment, and special economic zones. As part of this mission, Quadrian supports bold, scalable, founder led startups and helps turn their visionary ideas into global success stories. Today, I'm excited to be joined by one of those visionary founders, Yoann Demont. Welcome, Yoann. I'm very much looking forward to hearing about your journey as a founder and about the innovations that you're pioneering. So let's start out. Tell us about Alteam, your company. Essentially, give us your elevator
Courtney,
pitch.
pleased to be here with you. Uh, I am Yoann, the founder and CEO at Allteam. Allteam is a innovation and scaling hub. We've got two products, Connect and Scale. Through Connect, we connect fractional consultants, CTO, CPO, with founders that are growing the startups. And Scale is our talent sourcing platform.
And what was your inspiration? If I understand correctly, you started it around 3 years ago. What was going through your mind at the time? Where were you in your life, and how did this come about?
Great question. At that time, COVID hit, so I was previously the founder of Pop and Rest, a startup running a physical space, 24/7 sleep pods, offering the first of this kind in London. Uh, and well, I had plenty of time during the first lockdown. I started to pick up a first project with one of my best friend and contractor, Josh, a UX/UI designer, and we figure out a way to do a couple of projects part-time, hiring more freelancers alongside us. So it then became a freelance collective made of product experts, software engineers, and UX UI designer. Uh, and quite naturally, I thought there was a big opportunity, something there to make a broader impact with also the whole fractional thing, training. So we became All Team a year ago to bring tools for other consultants to become fractional, facilitate part-time gigs, and then on the other side for clients to find flexible talents, experts, uh, but also being able to have remote team deployed effectively and faster than a recruitment company or other school could do so. Well, quite naturally, I didn't expect. I hadn't planned to launch Ultim the way it is today.
It must have been a bit of destiny. I'm super interested in this aspect of the fractional model. Can you tell me, in practical terms, what does that mean and what are its pros and cons?
Sure thing. Well, in practical terms, someone fractional uh, is uh, an operator or a former founder, entrepreneur that's giving 1-2 days a week to work with clients. Typically, a fractional can take on uh, 3 to 4 clients, depending on the way they organize the time and whether they have a support team. And this is one of our value propositions: it's helping fractional better organize the time, monetize, empty hours they have in the calendar through mentoring, doing sessions with founders and the clients, as well as being able to uh, uh, hire a backup team. The pros of hiring someone fractional is you tap into their network, they have a wealth of knowledge and experience to share, and you can manage your costs, especially if you're early stage or even later stage if you're looking for optimizing cost in certain area and you've got a transformation project. It's maybe better sometimes to hire someone fractional. The cons is typically, what I've seen happening with me and other fractional is we do a good job. The company wants to keep us and offer us, a full-time position, and it's always a hard conversation to have because, well, you want to tell them that rather keep your fractional model going on, and you will find different ways to keep helping them and being on a long-term journey. So I'll say this is maybe one of the main cons. Uh, and on the fractional perspective, from a fractional consultant, is you have to be uh, willing to sometimes sacrifice on your rate, but also doing more that what is agreed with your clients, because while sticking to 1 or 2 days a week, it's always a challenge. So you have to be prepared for that.
I suppose you have to be incredibly efficient if you're carving up your time in that way.
Indeed, um, efficiency is key. That's why fractional consultant are usually people with a certain experience. Uh, and then I've done multiple projects before. I come from a mix of consulting and founder background. So uh, throughout my career, I've always been doing multiple projects at the same time. So I developed natural skills to organize my time. Um, so yeah, that's something to look for. And as a buyer, uh, you have to make sure that you vet your consultant, that you have someone in front of you that's uh, n- know how to manage the time very well. Uh, and last thing on this, it's important to manage expectation also. So uh, agreeing on the deliverables, what we want to achieve with the time we have at hand is super important.
I suppose you're betting on this fractional approach growing in popularity and utility over the next few years. How do you see it evolving? And are there any particular trends or developments taking place in the way businesses operate or even the way people work that might lend itself to this kind of model?
Absolutely. He's predicted that over the next 10 years, a third, if not more, of the workforce will be um, what's called, well, if like flexible workforce, like distributed, uh, people working part time, freelancers, fractional, you name it. Uh, so we are leaning towards that direction even more. I wouldn't be surprised to see like 3, 5 times number of fractional in 5 years. Uh, I keep meeting more and more um, colleagues that are doing, so before, uh, let's bring it back like 5 years ago. The trend was started with fractional CFO, CMO, so more on the growth aspect, because that's the easiest as a consultant. But nowadays, because good software engineering costs money, and it's not always easy to find people with specific knowledge of product. We see a rise in fractional product and fractional technology leads. Um, so yeah, I think it's here to stay and grow. Like I said.
Guess by the nature of what you're doing, you're probably working across a diverse range of industries and maybe types of organizations. So, how can you ensure that the kind of support you offer, including tech support, automation services, how can you make sure that that's all aligned to the specific needs of each client without really having a boilerplate kind of solution?
That's a good question. And uh, for me, that there's two things here. Is one, uh, we are focused on industry that we know, uh, especially the industry that I come from, uh, climate tech, prop tech. I can name a few others like this. So industry that uh, I spend time doing work, uh, building a network, and getting all the specificity, speaking the language of those industry. But then being able to find talents that have skills that matches those industries. Uh, and then the other thing is about listening, understanding your clients. Uh, so I will never promise that we are the right consultants to X, or that we can work on something very niche without, really understanding it. What's the pain point they are trying to solve? And then looking at crossovers across industries. For example, this morning I talked to a founder that is developing solutions for shipments. So a technology to reduce carbon emissions and optimize uh, routing for shipping companies. Uh, I don't have a consultant that has worked from the industry, but it's certainly from our climate tech and energy background, uh, uh, transferable skills and knowledge, which will allow us to do some work with that founder initially, really understand the pain points to then have the knowledge and the data to find the right individual. And we're using AI to help us in this process to make sure we filter out and we match the right consultant with our clients.
Right. And another complexity I could see might be around building company culture. So if the team is I guess fragmented, fractional, you would probably prefer to say, how can you instill that concept of company culture?
Yes, that definitely a challenge and a worries for some leaders. Uh, what I would say first is while making them welcome, like they part of your company. In big consulting, there's a tendency to treat consultants, differently than the employee. Uh, there's always a little war between, uh, people like doing the day-to-day job and the external consultant that comes in with their super solution planning and so on. Uh, in the case of startups or even we could apply this to technology enterprise. I would say is making sure you have your fractional participating in morning meetings, daily stand-ups, uh, participating in team activities from time to time. Of course, you have to be careful to not have your contractor, doing work as an employee. Otherwise, you might not be compliant. There's these things to be aware of. I would say to maintain a good culture is uh, elevating the collaboration, is making them really part of you know uh, the conversation that are happening and activities, meeting face to face whenever possible. So it's important.
And looking a little bit into the future, how would you characterize your longer term vision for our team and what kind of developments or new directions ahead do you want to tell us about?
Well, we want to become a hub for product intelligence, uh, and to do so, our strategy is to develop macro products that on one side help better match uh, talents with organization facing specific challenges that they need to resolve. That can be, implementing AI workflow, a data migration project, things that are uh, super techy. Let's put it this way, and equally equipping the consultant with tools. So we imagine having a platform that will centralize all the templates, AI tools, uh, all these amazing thing that our consultants are building and are able to share or sell to the wider audience. So our long-term vision is equally on, being a people-first company, making the right connection, uh, and then equipping or people with the tools that can make a difference, elevate the work so they can spend more time on strategy, making good decision and less time on redundant tasks.
Right, and when it comes to your future, obviously, you'll be, working, hand in hand with Quadrian and receiving, support as you go along your journey. I'm interested to hear how did this relationship start? How did you come across Quadrian, and how have you been, I guess, collaborating as you scale up your company?
I met Karim through a friend. Um, and right away we clicked. We speak the same language. We are both super passionate about uh, solving problem. Uh, uh, and what I like about Quadrian is uh, it's they come from an industry that's new to me. That's I'm curious about it, and I'm eager and enthusiastic in the idea to work with free trade zones, organizations and whatnot. Uh, and then the variety of startups that have already been backed by Quadrio, I knew half of them was a good sign, to start, the getting to know Karim and the rest of the team. So I say I'm excited about that, and I think we going to have a successful partnership. And I'm pretty sure our team can support some of the portfolio companies, as well as we can benefit from the community ourselves.
Fantastic. And just for our listeners and viewers who may not know, the Karim is Karim Palmieri, the CEO of Quadrian. I think we'll wrap up there. Johan, thank you so much for your time. And I've learned a lot actually. The fractional model was a new to me. It has a lot of sense, I think, in the way that the world of working is evolving. So I can't wait to see where you take All Team next. Thanks again for your time. Any final words you want to leave us with?
Well, thank you for the time today. Um, I don't have any final words. Just exciting to be here and looking forward for what's coming next.
Thank you so much.